and gentlemen, we're going to review for our quiz, which is tomorrow. You're going to have 10 questions on your quiz about solving rational equations. All right, so I'm looking at number 1. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to move this cursor out of the way. Okay. All right. So for number 1, I've got 5a on the bottom. I've got a on the bottom. And if we have a 1, what is really on the bottom of a 1? 1. Okay? So a 1 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply this top and bottom by 5. This top and bottom by 5a. Okay? All the bottoms are the same, so I can just ignore them. And I have a plus 1 minus 5 equals 5a. Please don't talk while I'm talking. So now I'm going to say 1 minus 5 is a minus 4 equals 5a. Now I'm just going to subtract that a from both sides. And I'm going to get negative 4 equals 4a. Divide by 4, and I get a equals negative 1. Good. How are we feeling about that? Okay. Number 3, then. Do you guys need a minute? Sometimes I go too fast. You got to tell me. You going to do that for the whole class, Jordan? Okay. Now, if we're looking at number 3, they all have n squared on the bottom, right? So you're going to have to multiply just this one by n. So you get 1 plus 4n equals 3. Now, what do? First, we subtract 1. Shh. And we get 4n equals 2. And then what do? Divide by 4. And I'm ending up with n equals 1/2. Remember, if the 4 is on the bottom, you just reduce it. Okay. So, all of the bottoms are 3k squared except the first one, so I have to multiply the top and bottom by 3. And then I'm just left with 3 equals 1 plus k plus 5. We okay? I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. I think we're losing it. Okay. We're okay? Yeah. Multiply the top and bottom by 3. We can ignore the whole bottoms. So now 1 plus 5 is 6. So I get 3 equals k plus 6. Then I'm just going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I get negative 3 equals k. So far, so good? Okay. So I'm going to get a separate piece of paper for these next ones because I feel like my work is trying to get crowded. If you guys want to smush yours in, that's fine, but I'm going to spread mine out a little bit. Okay. For number 7, I've got 6 over k minus 1 over k squared plus 6k equals 1 over k. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to factor out a k out of this one to see what I need to multiply the others by. So if I take a k out, I get k plus 6. So that means I have to multiply both to the right and left by k plus 6. So that means here I'm doing k plus 6, the top and bottom. And here I'm doing k plus 6, the top and bottom. Okay. These all cancel out. And I'm going to be left with 6k plus 36 minus 1 equals k plus 6. Do you guys see how I distributed as I went? Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to combine like terms, and I get 6k plus 35 equals k plus 6. Now I'm going to get all the k's on one side, so I'm going to subtract k from each side. 5k plus 35 equals 6. Now I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides, right? And I'm going to get 5k equals, and we've got that 35, that negative 35 and 6 gives us a negative 29, right? And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I'm going to get k equals negative 29 over 5. Did you get something different? Are we okay? An even number of some sort and not a crazy looking fraction?
We don't have one on the test like this.
You might.
We are.
Okay. Let's look at number 9. All right. 9, we've got 1 over x plus 5 minus 1 over x squared plus 5x equals 4 over x squared plus 5x. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factor these so I can see it, what I would have to multiply that by. So I've got 1 over x plus 5 minus 1 over, I can take out an x, plus x plus 5. So I can see that the only thing I'm going to have to multiply that last one, this first one by, is a top and bottom. I'll multiply it by an x. Okay? Then I don't have to worry about the bottoms, and I can say x minus 1 equals 4. And then that's really simple, right? I'm just going to add a 1. So x equals 5. Okay? You guys ready for 11?
Yeah.
All right. So for 11, we've got 1 over 2v equals 5v plus 15 over v squared minus 6v minus v plus 6 all over 2v squared minus 12v. I'm waiting. Apparently somebody while I'm recording feels the need to have another conversation while I'm doing this. I am going to stop while people are talking for 2 reasons. 1, if you're talking, you're distracting the person next to you even if they're trying to listen to me. 2, I do want everybody, even the people that are talking, to ace this quiz. Okay? So I do really want you to be quiet. I want you to participate, answer my questions, just to get through this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go, because I want you to do really well on this quiz. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I see that all of these are different. So I'm going to factor out the greatest common factor out of both of these to see if I can simplify what I have to multiply them by. A lot of you guys forgot stuff like this. When we were going over homework, you forgot to factor things all the way, or when you were trying to add things together, you forgot to do this, and it made your test really complicated when you did that. So I'm going to take out a v, and I get v minus 6. I'm going to take out 2v out of this one, because 2 goes into 2 and 12. So I get 2v gives me v minus 6. Okay, well that helps. So now this, the top and bottom, I just have to multiply by 2 for this middle one. And for this one, I'm going to have to multiply the top and bottom by v minus 6. Okay? That means I can cancel out the whole bottom because they're all the same. And I get v minus 6 equals, I'm going to distribute as I go, just to save me some steps. I get 10v plus 30 minus v plus 6. Can somebody tell me what I do next now? Now that I've gotten all those bottoms, what do I do now? I've gotten rid of all the bottoms, just left with this. Combine like terms, perfect. So I get v minus 6 equals 10v and negative v gives me 9v. 30 and 6 gives me 36. Okay, what do I do now?
You did
9v on the other side? We can move 9v, sure. So I subtract 9v from both sides, and I get negative 8v minus 6 equals 36. And then what do I do? Add 6, good. I add 6 to both sides.
Yes.
And I get negative 8v equals 36, or 7, 3, 8, 3, 9, 40, 41, 42. Thank you. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 8. 8 doesn't go in there evenly, though. If it was a 6, it would. So I think Jalen Fisher showed me this. You guys know that if you're like, I know this goes into something, but I don't know how evenly. You know that if you hit Control Divide, a fraction shows up, right? If I put that fraction in there, most of your calculators, if you push Enter, will just give you the most reduced fraction, right? Okay, negative 21 over 4. Okay, I mean, you could have just divided both of those by 2, and you would have been fine, but you know, if you don't remember what it is. Okay, why don't you guys try both 16 and 15 on your own? I'm going to give you about 13 and 15, excuse me. 13 and 15, I tried to get you guys to do a homework problem. 13 and 15 on your own, and I'm going to work on the answers while you're working on the answers, and we'll go over them, okay? So try 13 and 15. 13 and 15. All right, 13 if you don't get an answer but get it down as far as you can, that's okay. I give you like the hardest one to do on your own, guys. And I won't give you one like this on your quiz.
How do you know that? 'Cause you about to trip on.
No, I will not. This is rough. I would not give you one like this.
Equals negative 37 over 5.
Yep. And there should be the other one. There should be 2 answers. Good. Yes.
Oh my God. Just because I didn't want to answer. She might. Oh my God.
Jordan, try these problems.
Throw that. 5 out of that.
One thing, that's explain.
It's not looking about right, right? Articles 115.
Remember, this is R squared. So you have to multiply the top and bottom by R.
Don't just go 1R?
You have to multiply the top and bottom of this one right here by r squared. So it becomes r squared equals 2 minus r. And then you have to factor it.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's go over the problems, guys, because I'm assuming with talking, you either aren't doing it or are done. Okay. So, number 13. Okay, so first thing, we're going to have to make the bottoms the same. So I multiplied this by 6, and I multiplied this by n squared. This ends up giving me 6n squared plus 42n plus 36 equals n squared minus 1. I subtract n squared from both sides. I add 1 to both sides. I get 5n squared plus 42n plus 37 equals 0. Instead of factoring, I put it in the quadratic formula. And get two answers, -1 and -37/5, which is why I wouldn't give you one like this. I'd make it easier to factor. Okay? I'm going to move it up just a little bit. I know some of you are still writing it down. I'm just going to move it up just a little. All right, 15. I'm going to multiply the first one, top and bottom, by r squared. The last one, top and bottom, by r. And I end up with r squared equals 2 minus r. I get it all on one side, and then it's easy to factor. It's r minus 2 and r plus 1, so my answers are 2 and -1. Okay, let's do number 17 together. Let's do number 17 together. Shh. I'm leaving 15 up there. Let's work on 17. Shh. X squared minus 3x minus 4 over x cubed minus x squared. Minus 1 over x squared equals x minus 2 over x squared. All right, so I've got this x cubed right here. I don't really love that x cubed. Maybe I can factor that out. So I'm going to factor the top while I'm at it to see if I get something I like. So I get x minus 4 and x plus 1. And I know I might have to put that back together later. Okay? And I get it over, I'm going to take out x squared, and I'm left with x minus 1. That means that for each of these, I'm going to have to times them by x minus 1. Okay. Did it help me that I factored the top? No. So I'm going to put it back together. So I'm going to say x squared minus 3x minus 4 minus x minus 1 equals, and I'm going to do the box out while I'm at it. And I'm going to get x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay? I'm going to make sure I distribute this negative right here. X squared minus 3x minus 4 minus x plus 1 equals x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay? I'm going to take all of this stuff over here and I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to combine, like terms first. So I get x squared minus 4x, can we please stop the conversation that you think you're being quiet about but isn't actually? Minus 3 equals x squared minus 3x plus 2. Shh. I'm going to subtract the x squareds from both sides. They cancel. They're gone. That's nice. That means I won't have to factor. I have negative 4x minus 3 equals negative 3x plus 2. I'm going to add 3x to both sides. And I get negative x minus 3 equals 2. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get negative x equals 5, divide by a negative 1. So x equals negative 5 is my answer. Okay, let's do number 19, and then I will stop talking. All right, 19 says v minus 6 over 2v squared plus 2v minus 4 plus v over 2v minus 2 equals 1/2. Okay? So I've got v minus 6 over, and I need to factor 2v plus 2v squared plus 2v minus 4. Okay? So the first thing I can do is I can take out a 2, and I'm left with v squared plus v minus 2. Shh. And then that's easier to factor. I get v minus 2 and v plus 1. Okay? Sorry. And then I get, on the bottom, I take out a 2 for this one. And then I've got equals 1/2. Okay, so I know for my middle one, I'm going to have to times the top and bottom by v minus 2. Okay? For my third one right here, I'm going to have to multiply by v minus 1 and v minus 2. Okay? Now I can cross out the bottoms, and I'm going to end up with v minus 6 plus, I'm going to distribute as I go, v squared minus 2v equals, and I'm going to multiply these out. You can either FOIL, you can use this box if you want, like I've been doing. Okay, negative 2v, negative 1v, positive 2. So I get v squared minus 3v plus 2. Okay? Subtract that v squared from both sides. They cancel. Okay? Let's combine these as we go. So we get negative 6 minus v equals negative 3v plus 2. Add 3v to both sides. You could have added v to both sides, but I don't like negatives. Negative 6 plus 2v equals 2. Add 6 to both sides. 2v equals 8, and so v equals 4. And you're done. Okay? All right, guys, you've got the evens to work on. You've got some class time to do it, and you can do the rest for homework.